Hi there! Have you ever watched the streamer and thought, wow, this is peak comedy? If only my friends could appreciate this moment as much as I do, but they just cannot understand what's going on? So today, I'm going to turn 3 streamers' horrified reactions into art so that more people can share my excitement watching them unfold. To do this, I first had to look into what reactionary art really means. Reactionary art, as answered by Quora, is a type of art that responds to or reacts against a particular political or social event. But I'm not here to excite a political movement or a new social event. What I'm talking about is this. Now this is the type of reactionary art I was looking for, and who better to draw inspiration from than Bocchi the Rock herself. This anime is so reactive that I just had to use it for my art project.
Am I about to die to a dragon?
Case is a streamer who plays video games and reacts to jokes at the expense of his body weight. Although the jokes are quite funny out loud, what I find the most fun are the moments when he cannot even react to what is going on at all.
What if I jump?
And here comes the colors of regret. For the art of Queso, I decided to use a minimal amount of details and mainly focus on the feeling of regret that I'd like to convey. By making Case the most prominent thing in the picture, just as he is in real life, I was able to translate the sheer weight of his regret onto paper and paint. Okay, now it's time for the 3D part. But since I don't have a life-size Queso to scan, nor can any real metrics measure him at all, I've decided to fetch a downscaled representation online for this part. A 3D representation of Queso's room is not that big of a deal, but I still needed to be faithful to the streamer. So I gave the room 2 large windows, 1 couch, and displaying a McDonald's outside, and so it was perfect. When it was time to do Queso's 3D launch into a pile of bricks, for some reason he kept bouncing off. And that was when I realized that I was actually inputting the wrong weight. So then it was perfect. And because I really need to pan out time for this video, I'll let you Queso fans watch him being launched in a pile of bricks because I'm sure you would really enjoy that.
I got a feeling!
Enters Germa. Germa is a streamer who's famous for his odd antics and serial killing. Since he's gotten away with chopping so many people into meat grinders, my favorite reaction is when he's actually the one being frightened himself. And comes the colors of fear. Because fear can be depicted using black and red, I wanted to surround Germa with black and make him become the red pulsating component. But it wasn't frightful enough, so I added extra spike lines to make Germa even more terrified. And this time, instead of downloading a 3D model of Germa, I decided to stick it out and catch Germa myself before he had the chance to get away with it again.
Loot yeah!
Yet somehow the Germa I caught was the version of him from 10 years ago. But Germa never changes. So it's time to put him to work. Germa's room was quite easy to make, only a shelf and soundproof foam. But the hardest thing for me was how I was going to implement fear into his throwing. And that's when it came to me. Germa's sound design. It was a perfect fit for a man of his stature, 5'8". Enters Iron Mouse. She's a VTuber who's famous for her Latina antics and uplifting positive attitude. That being said, my favorite moment watching her is actually when she's so baffled that she cannot even become a Latina at all.
You know, I've never been to a gun range before.
Is this a dad joke or is this like a
No,
real
no,
thing?
it's not. I've never been to one, but I've decided to give it a shot.
And comes the colors of disappointment. For the art of Iron Mouse, I knew that I just cannot compete with the thousands and thousands of beautiful artworks out there, but I still wanted to be faithful to the craft and so I gave it my best shot. Just like how an artist makes their piece, I sat for hours lining out her sketch until I was satisfied to move on with coloring. And since Moss's model does not have a hint of disappointment on it, the only way that I could infer this is by using lines and colors within the environment. I did the same thing for the MS Paint version as well. Next, we move on to the third and final 3D throwing. Unlike Germa, Iron Mouse is actually not a fictional character, so I had to pay my flesh and blood Munchkin cat to go catch her for me.
Hello, coño. ¿Cómo estás, coño? What's up, coño?
Because Mouse is a very animated person, and I have learned a lot from throwing Queso and Germa into a brick wall, I went and made an almost one-to-one perfect recreation of the scene from Bocchi the Rock. I knew that this was my final masterpiece. Before I show you the results, please subscribe for more weird content like this and comment down below anything you'd like me to do next. But without further ado, this is what you've all been waiting for.
What if I jump?
Yeah, you're banned. Have a good night.
If I chop you up in a meat grinder.
You know, I've never been to a gun range before.
Is this a dad joke or is this like a
No,
real
no,
thing?
it's not. I've never been to one, but I've decided to give it a shot.
Now, let's see what my friend has to say about my reactionary art. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to see what weird things I come up with next. Until then, take care.